are here with another indie dev. We've got Ben from Memories Reach. Welcome, Ben. It's good to have you. So, first up, what is the name of your game?
Memories Reach.
Memories Reach, as I just said. Tell us a little bit about the game.
So, Memories Reach is an adventure puzzle metroidvania. So, it's a cross between those kind of genres, sometimes called a metroidvania. So, you can explore the world, solving puzzles, and in my case, as you solve, say, the major puzzle in each area, you'll get a new ability, which might be a new way of navigating through the world, or a new tool for solving different kinds of puzzles.
Yep.
And that will allow you to backtrack and reach areas you previously couldn't get to, get to new areas, get to new puzzles, and so the world will gradually expand and grow like that.
Yeah, very nice.
In a classic Metroidvania sense.
And so, obviously, Metroid is a big inspiration for the game. Did you have any other inspirations apart from Metroid?
Sure. So, yeah, Metroid Prime specifically was an influence on the visual approach to it. It's first person. It's kind of got this sort of behind the visor kind of aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of like scanning and stuff in there as well. I've sort of brought over as influence from that. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot of influence from sci-fi, I particularly like, from outside of games as well as in. There's a bit of Mass Effect in there. But there's influence from like The Expanse, the TV show and the books, and some of the works of like Arthur C. Clarke and stuff in there. I've thrown a couple of references in the game as well.
In the game as well.
That sort of stuff as well.
Yeah. It's cool to see people bringing outside influence outside of video games and just general sci-fi. It's really cool hearing people reading a book and then bringing that into video games as well.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. If the only inspiration you take is other games, then you're going to make games in general become very sort of insular and derivative kind of genre. You don't want that. Like it's healthy to bring in influences from other genres and from real life and from just outside of games. So,
100%. Now, I was having a look at the game before and I noticed the environments are absolutely amazing. Did you have influence for the environments from anywhere, or was that just always in your head as to what you wanted?
I had an idea in mind as for the sort of aesthetic I wanted to approach, which was this kind of like very large, bold geometric shapes, very huge megastructures and big obelisks and stuff. It's a drawing on sort of like some very old sort of retro sci-fi art.
Yep.
Stuff from like the 70s, 60s and 70s, where you often have some of the classic artworks where there's these vast landscapes and these giant like pyramid or obelisk structures in there and sort of stuff. And I really like that. One person referred to it as space brutalism, which like, that's cool. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, nice.
So I've been calling it that from now on. It's just these gigantic, brutalist kind of like sci-fi structures and these sort of desolate landscapes and things.
I love the contrast between that sort of stuff, like the completely desolate wasteland, and then these epic, like constructed megaliths. It just looks so cool. I love that.
That's very much the vibe I'm trying to capture.
Yeah, nice.
It's been quite a challenge actually, because the art, it tends to be in these like vast, like desolate landscapes, as I said, but it's a first-person exploration game. You have to walk through it.
Yes.
So I can't have like a desolate desert with an obelisk at the other end, because the player's not going to sit there and walk for 30 minutes in one direction.
Yeah, you don't want to make a walking simulator.
Yeah. Well, I mean, walking simulators are great, but like, stuff happens along the way. You can't just push forward and go, all right, I'll turn on auto run and be back in 30 minutes. So I've got to like try to capture that vibe, but in an environment that's small and condensed enough that you can actually get to where you're going reasonably fast, and there's enough stuff to do along the way. That keeps it interesting. So that's been a tricky challenge, making it feel big without actually physically being too big.
Yes.
So you can still move through in a reasonable time.
That's understandable. With the movement through the levels, how would you explain that? So you've got your puzzles, and then I noticed while watching you play the game, there is a lot of movement between different levels and different areas. Mm-hmm. Is it, how am I trying to word this? What does the progress through the area look like?
So, well, you explore on foot, and you also get some power-ups along the way, which will give you other ways of traversing the world. So one thing that's available in the Steam demo is the warp ability.
Yep.
Where you see the kind of like icons around the place, and if you click on them, you can zip towards them. And it allows you to shortcut over gaps and reach otherwise inaccessible areas. That's something you get partway through the game. I'll give it to you at the start of the Steam demo
Because it's fun. Yeah.
But as you play, say the new demo I got on display here at the show, you'll see those icons around the place, but you won't be able to use them yet.
Yeah.
So they'll give you a hint that there's these other areas in the game to access later. That's how you traverse through it. The way the game is sort of structurally connected, it's all mostly one large interconnected environment. So, well, not entirely one large one, because there's one of the levels is set up in orbit in space around the planet, which is not physically connected to the ground level. So there's some parts where you'll like use a teleporter to warp you to those areas and back. But they sort of connect to other areas throughout it. So it's all kind of one large sort of seamless.
Yeah.
Seamless in that you'll never see a loading screen.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Once you start the game, you'll sort of walk through and some areas will physically connect through doors and corridors. Others you'll take a teleporter or walk around other areas, and you just sort of like gradually explore this one large world.
Yeah. And then the puzzles, they're obviously to progress. So are we talking puzzles to unlock mechanisms or open doors or?
Yeah, so they come in a variety of different types. I kind of group them into three types. There's your isolated set piece puzzles, which you identify them very easily in the trailers and stuff, where they're like these hologram things and you like move bits and pieces around to solve this puzzle. And they're a very singular isolated puzzle. You solve that and it unlocks something. It might unlock a door, it might open a gate, raise a bridge, whatever. The next step up from that is kind of like the room-based puzzle, where there is some mechanic to the room that you need to solve. It might be like raising, lowering bridges, rotating bridges, raising over pillars, and manipulating the environment in order to navigate it through to get the objective.
Yeah.
It's kind of like very similar to like a Zelda dungeon room puzzle.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the next evolution up from that is kind of like what I'm calling the meta puzzle. So every level in the game has at least one large meta puzzle built into its design. So that spans multiple rooms. And it might be, so the way they kind of work out is that once you've like gone through the level, solved a bunch of the smaller puzzles, done the room puzzles, you kind of got an understanding how the level fits together. That's when I sort of like introduced the block, the gate you have to get through.
Yeah.
And okay, to get through here, there's some sort of mechanic I need to understand about the level holistically.
Yeah.
How can I like manipulate this level or navigate it in such a way as to get past this obstacle?
I love those types of puzzles where it's like each thing is like it's got a purpose and you're learning as you go, and the overall experience has been built up to that area.
So that's what I'm trying to achieve with each of the levels. There's something like that where you kind of like just as you think you're reaching the end, you suddenly find yourself in a trap.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't get there. Well, how do I get there? And then you think back to what you've explored, what mechanics you've used, and like, okay, how can I go back and like affect the level to get myself over here?
Yeah, I love it.
So there's like different tiers of puzzle design throughout the game. And then of course there's a lot of exploration and exploration-based puzzles and secrets and sort of hidden stuff as well.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
You can sort of come back and find the different abilities you pick up along the way.
Yep, beautiful. So where did the idea for the game come from?
It evolved out of my last game, actually, which is a completely different game. Not connected in any way. But that was also an adventure puzzle game.
Yep.
But it was my first go at a solo indie project, and my first time programming as well. I taught myself programming to make my last game. So I deliberately kept it quite simple, and it was more of a point-and-click style puzzle game. It's still first person, it's still 3D, but you don't walk around anywhere. You would click on an object, and the camera would zoom in, and you would solve the puzzle. And you'd zoom back out, and you click on a door, it would fade out and go to the next room.
Yeah.
And you'd solve puzzles in there. It's a good game. I think it plays very well. It did pretty well for me. It's basically fun for this game, fun for the next one. But for the next one, I was like, I want to like expand. I want to like expand the scope of it. I want to like take the opportunity to like let you roam freely around the environment. And rather than each puzzle being a separate thing you just click on and solve, I want to build the puzzles in the environment itself. And so that's where the kind of like half the design came from that. The desire to like build a more expansive puzzle game. The second part came from, I've always wanted to build a metroidvania.
Yeah.
I've always loved the interconnected level design. As a level artist, level designer, that's something I've always loved about metroidvanias. So I was like, I want to combine those two things.
Yes. Yeah.
Take the expanded puzzle design from my old game and the metroidvania level design and sort of squish them together. Flavor on cool sci-fi, which I'm a big fan of, and that's the game.
That's it. Beautiful. And I guess it's kind of linked. When you play your game, are you excited that sort of vision's coming into fruition?
Yeah, well, it's great when it finally starts to come together.
Yeah.
I very recently, end of last year, I finally got a complete playthrough of the game done. It's always been in parts. Like I built one level or I built another level, but they weren't properly connected, or I had puzzles built for different areas, but they weren't like fully integrated. But last year, I set myself a goal of like by December 31st, I'm going to be able to play my game from start to finish. And there may be parts that aren't finished. There may be like you enter a room and the item you need is just there.
Yeah.
The puzzle to solve to get the item isn't in there, but you can pick up the item. So there's nothing to stop you getting it and continuing on and reaching the final credits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was able to finally play on, because I went up to Brisbane for family for Christmas in like November. So I'm like, Christmas week, when I've got no distractions because everybody's having Christmas. I'm working. So I was able to like sit down, no distractions, and basically play through my game, stopping every now and again to fix a bunch of bugs, and then continue on, and finally play through the entire game, back and forth, link everything up, and finally reach the final credits at 5 p.m. on December 31st.
Oh, nice! So you made it. Perfect.
Yeah, and that was great because that allowed me to then go, right, I can now see for the first time. I always had a picture in my hand of what the full game looked like, but now I've got an actual example of it. I've actually fully played through it. I can see how the whole thing actually fits together and compare that to how the picture in my head of it.
Yeah.
And what was working, what didn't. I could physically map it all out on paper, like graph it all out, like here, you go here, get this, which let's go here and map it all out, and then sit back and look at it and go, okay, what needs to change, what's working, what doesn't work, what can I move around, and yeah, that was really great.
Yeah, that would have been a really cool feeling.
It was a very, very good moment. It's something I wish I arrived at much earlier in development, but this game has taken way too long as it is. So.
Speaking of, how long have you been working on the game?
3 years now.
3 years.
3 years as of, I think, this month.
Okay.
The start is a bit vague when I actually started.
Yep.
Because I was working on a few different prototypes around February, March in 2022, I guess it was. And I eventually settled on this one as the one to go forward. So when it actually started, I'm not sure.
Oh, so there was a couple other concepts sort of in the area, and you're like, which one do I want to go with?
Yeah, what direction do I want to go? Which game? They're all sort of very vague, vastly different games.
Yeah, yeah.
And this kind of like the Metroidvania puzzle game was one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the one I settled on.
Okay,
but that was about 3 years ago today.
This is. You don't have to answer this, but are those other games still in the back of your head, or are they?
They are.
They're gone.
One of them in particular, I'd really like to do one day.
Yeah.
I set it aside because it was. There were issues with the. It required skills that I don't have.
Yeah. Okay.
And it would require someone else on full time with that skill set.
Yeah.
Which I did not have the budget for another full-time staff.
Which is fair.
So,
Which is fair.
I think it's a great, interesting game to explore. I'd really love to do it. Maybe next time. If I can, maybe I'll work with a publisher next time and I finally find that funding to have people on full-time. Then I can afford to do that game.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Awesome.
But that's a whole...
That's in the future. So what has the development journey looked like for you?
Well, I guess we've done some of that already, haven't we? So yeah, started about 3 years ago with early prototypes. I kind of liked how it went. I worked on it pretty quiet for the first 6 months or so, or more, and announced it in, I think, September 2022.
Yep.
I think I said it was coming in 2023. So that didn't happen.
Oh well, you're still getting there.
But yeah, no, I took a demo over to GDC in 2023, and that was the first time I showed any version of it to just a random public audience.
Yeah.
So I'd taken early prototypes, early walkouts to like dev meetups and stuff and showed it to friends. But GDC was the first time I showed it to just a random indie dev meetup at GDC. So hundreds and hundreds of people, random people playing it. And that was really great. That was when I finally realized that, I got reassurance that what I was building was something good. So people played it and they liked it and they got excited. I was like, great. It's not just my friends and family getting excited, which you can never really trust.
It's not just friends going, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. These random people who have no stake in it and don't know me, they can go, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And some people would come back for another go, that's when you know they're actually being serious about it.
And that's reassuring because you always want to look at playability and replayability, and it's like, well, if you've played the demo and you're like, you know what, I want to give this another shot, that must be an amazing feeling.
It is, because it's hard to trust positive feedback at trade shows because you don't know if they're just being nice.
Yes,
So you kind of have to rely on how did they actually respond when they were playing it? Like, you got to watch that. Or if they come back for another go to talk about, or just to talk about it more, or they bring their friend back. It's like, okay, this person actually does love it.
Yes,
And sometimes you can tell when they're talking to you, they are genuine about how much they like it and stuff. And sometimes like, yeah, man, it's great, I like it. Thanks for letting me play. And walk off. Like, okay,
That was a great game. See you later.
It's not for you, And it's like, it's not for everybody. Like, no game is going to appeal to everybody. So,
no, that's it. Yeah,
whatever.
And that's the beauty of having such a wide variety of games these days. It's everyone has a chance to play something that they like.
Yeah, and especially at shows like this, which have such a broad variety of indie games.
Yeah, there's heaps of different
so many different indies, a lot of locals, lots of different games, different genres. It's great.
Yes, it's fantastic to see, and it's fantastic to see the indie section in general being so big. It's last year when we did the showcase, there was so many people, and I was like, this is fantastic. Australia's got a really good indie scene, and I love it.
Yeah, I like this. I'm looking forward to actually getting a chance to go around and explore it.
Yes,
This is my first time at TGX. Last year I was at PAX in Boston when this was on, so it was overseas.
Yes,
and a much larger show. That was nuts.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Thousands of people, 4 days long, it was insane. So this is so chill in comparison.
Yes,
I love this. This is much better.
This is a lot more. I feel like this is a lot more intimate. You can spend the time talking to people about it. You don't have to worry about how many people are outside the booth.
And it's the way I'm approaching this as well. I like these smaller shows because it's an opportunity to show other parts of the game.
Yes, yeah.
So a big show like PAX, where you get lots and lots of people through, like hundreds or thousands of people, then in those cases, I approach that more as a marketing push.
Yeah.
I have a dedicated demo for PAX. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot smaller. It shows like the core essence of the game, and it's designed to just try and get as many people through as fast as possible.
Yeah.
To get them to play the game, to get them to wish list it, and get the next poker through. It's a big public event. You don't want to waste an opportunity. But smaller shows like this that are more intimate with fewer people, then I'm like, right, well, I'm going to have longer demos. I'm going to have early prototype levels or work in progress levels where I can just get people to sit down, play for like half an hour or more if they're keen on it, and just like play test this new area.
Yes, yeah.
I've done that a few times in smaller shows, and that's what I'm doing for this one. So the main demo I'm showing here is what will eventually be my new demo on Steam, because the one on Steam is the PAX demo, so it's not a great demo for Steam because it's so short. So the new one is a big chunk of the game. It's going to go for 1 to 2 hours. At TGX, there's a hard cutoff. It cuts out at 30 minutes.
Which is fair enough.
But when it finally goes up on Steam, there won't be a time limit. You just play for the whole thing. But it represents the whole first chunk of the game. So it's the tutorial introduction section, and the hub, and the first level of the game. So it's a great opportunity. It's my first time actually showing it publicly. And I've been taking a bunch of notes. It's been great to watch people, how they play, how they respond to the intro, whether it's communicating what I need to communicate for the tutorial section. And so it's good.
Beautiful.
And shows like this are a great opportunity to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, you can get that feedback visually. You can see them and see how they're ticking, and ask them questions. which I guess that'd be hard doing from feedback off of Steam. Or,
Yeah, because you can't watch them play.
Yeah,
You have to get volunteers to like record their show. And so, when I do the Steam demo, I'm gonna add analytics in there. So at least I'll get data about like what puzzle was solved, how long they play for, where they get stuck, that kind of thing. You know, how long they take to get through section 1, how long it takes to get through section 2. And I'll be able to collate all that data, which will be great. And there's a bit of that here as well. This demo is recording to my hard drive. It just records a spreadsheet.
Oh, so you'll be able to watch back and...
Well, not watch back, but it records just to a CSV file. It says, you know, demo was started now at X time. They solved puzzle 1 at 2 minutes in, solved puzzle 3 minutes in, and completed the demo after, I don't know, 20 minutes. So, so there's nothing in there that tells me who it was. It's just like, I could just like average it out at the end. You know, the average playtime was this. The average time of puzzle 1 was this. And does that line up with what I wanted?
Yes.
If not, then I need to like, you know, adjust things to like, you know.
Good feedback. Good feedback. Have you had a moment that has made all the work feel worth it? I know you said that first playthrough was a big thing, but
I guess I kind of preempted your question. That was it. That was the first time when I first took, because up to that point I was like, I haven't done a public playtest. Is it a good game? I think it is. And so when people actually played it and enjoyed it, it's like, oh good, people actually like it. And then the first time I took it to PAX was that sort of feeling again, where I actually got random, just not developers playing it, but random public playing it. And saw a good bump in wishlist, which suggests people actually enjoyed it enough to go wishlist it. And so it's things like that. Every time I take a new thing to a show, that's when I get one of those moments. Because people get to play it, and it's kind of make or break. It's like, is this doing what I want it to do? And luckily, so far, most of the time, the answer is yes.
Good. That's what we want to hear.
Occasionally, it's not. But usually those are the really rough blockout versions, which are great because they're the ones that can change.
Well, that's it. What about some highs and lows? What have been the highs and lows?
Well, the highs are those shows. It's getting you to play these new sections. Like I'm having some highs today over there, playing the new demo. Lows, I guess, have been when I've been looking at the scope of the game and what's left to do, and going, I told people I'd ship this year. That's not going to happen.
That'd be hard.
I'm very hopeful for 2025, but I'm not setting a date.
That's
I've
fair
learned
enough.
that lesson.
That's fair enough.
So those have been the low points, because I've wanted to get this game out. Well, I initially announced for 2023. That didn't happen. I was like, oh, sorry, 2024, I'll get it done. It didn't happen. And that sucks.
I've heard many people...
I've told people it's going to be out, and I personally want to get it out, and it's just like, oh, I overscoped this thing.
I've heard many people say that they, they set that first date or that first year, and they're like, I don't think I'm going to get it by then. It's coming out soon. That's it. It'll come out eventually. We've got an announcement over the top. I don't know whether that comes over the top, but we can hear it. We're good. Or we can't hear it. We're good. Okay. So, next question is, what makes the game unique?
To me, I think it's we've already been through a bit of it. The way I'm blending the puzzle genre and the metroidvania genre, that's to me, I think, the key uniqueness in my game. And in particular, in a first-person exploration metroidvania, in which there are very, very few. And certainly not many that are puzzle-based. So we've already covered the different types of puzzles in the game and the way they kind of blend into the level design. And I think that's what I like to focus on the most. Because that's what I think is the most unique element of the game.
Most unique element of it, what are you most excited about players experiencing in the game?
I really want them to get in there and start exploring the world. And there's a little bit of that. There's more in this demo than in others, because the PAX demo is designed to be very, very short and condensed. There's not a lot of opportunity for exploration. But the new Steam one, there's no time limit. So I've been able to make much larger environments for it, let people explore more of the game, add in things like the map, which is not in this one, but will be in the Steam one. You'll actually go to see the map and you see it open up as you go, see areas you can't get to, hide a lot more hidden objects and secret paths in there, and get people really like digging in and exploring all the secrets and hidden bits of it. So it's because a big focus so far has been the puzzle design and the puzzle solving, but a whole other side of the game that hasn't really been demoed yet is all the hidden secrets.
Yeah.
And so I'm really keen to get people let people explore that, especially on the Steam demo when it finally goes on.
Yeah. Amazing. How can people support the development of the game?
You can wishlist.
Wishlist.
Go on, Memories Reach on Steam, give it a wishlist, download the demo that's currently there, give it a go, follow along. I've got a mailing list. If you go to my website, which is just memoriesreach.com, that's Memories Reach, it's apostrophe S. The URL doesn't have the apostrophe, obviously, it's just YS. Maybe I shouldn't have made a game title with an apostrophe in it. My friends warned me against it, and I didn't listen. But there we are. But yeah, give it a follow. Give me a wish list, and join the mailing list. You can get into some early betas of the Steam demo and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah.
Perfect. For our last question is, if your game was a coffee or tea blend, what 3 flavors would it be?
Okay, I gave some thought to this one. So I'm going to pick 2 of my favorites because they're my favorites, and that is a chocolate and hazelnut.
Oh, okay.
Which I think that's a fairly, there's enough complexity there that makes it kind of puzzly.
Yep.
And I think hazelnut brings in a bit of the sci-fi, but I'm going to go for the third one. I don't know how this will go because I've never tried this as a blend, but I'm going to go just a little hint of cinnamon, just a little hint.
So chocolate, hazelnut, and cinnamon.
A little hint of cinnamon. I don't know if it'll work. I don't think it will, but I want to try it. Like just a little bit, not too much, because I think the cinnamon's too spicy.
Just a touch, yeah.
Just a touch, sprinkled on top, might just sort of bring out that extra little bit.
I like it. I'm
going to try it.
I'd be keen to try it myself. Well,
it might be awful.
Thank you for joining us at TGX. It's a really cool experience to be able to do this live from here. Hopefully the rest of the weekend goes well for you. I'm keen to come across and give another shot because I've played one of the one of the demos. I should just say that. Try not to figure out when it was from.
You did play an early version of what's in the current demo.
Yes, yeah.
You played a version of the first level of the game, the jungle environment, I believe.
Yeah.
So what's in this demo is the new hub section and that jungle area and the tutorial. So a whole bunch of new stuff.
So a little bit more, a lot more to explore. But yeah, thank you for coming on, and we'll hopefully we'll see the new demo coming out soon.
Soon. It will be in a future Next Fest.
Yeah.
I don't know which one yet, but a future one.
There we go.